Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Sometimes you just have to call an audible when you're doing live sports talk and streaming radio, TV, and the like. Terry Norvelle here on a Friday. We have a ton of topics to cover here on a Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live, of course, our Friday home. We are down in Jacksonville Beach. They call it BRIX, the BRIX. Very, very famous. Hangout, a little bit of everything. Restaurant, sports bar, just a good hangout place, good place to have a cold drink, and, of course, the best steak special at the beach, $12.99 ribeye steak. That comes with two sides. You cannot beat that anywhere, and they're being served up right now. Terry Norvelle here. We hope to hear from Patrick Young. We've got a lot of basketball to talk about. I'll get to that. We'll talk to Brent Beaird as well in hour number 2. We'll cover a lot of college football, but, news happens, things happen. Sometimes the best laid plan, you have to call an audible, as I said at the beginning, and that's what we're doing right now. Today's show, obviously, we will get to, and we thought the lead story today would be Trevor Lawrence. Will he or will he not play Sunday here in Jacksonville against the Vikings? It's appearing more and more like he will not play. Trevor's got the injured shoulder, maybe going in for surgery, maybe just trying to rehab it, but that was going to be topic number 1, and we'll get to that today, I promise. Some other things we want to get to today are show picks. Our college football picks. We will help you make some money. Zach, Patrick, and myself will give you our picks. We'll get to that. It's a good weekend in both. I think a really good weekend in the NFL and college football. I want to do an update on Bronny James because, well, there is an update on Bronny James. And then I didn't quite get into my Deion Sanders theory. I think I know what's going to happen. It's way in left field. I think I know where Deion's going to be coaching next year. And it's not the Colorado Buffaloes. We'll try to get to all that, but the breaking news that's really pertinent to our area, our viewers, our listeners, and here in our viewing area, there have been some extremely serious allegations of a sexual nature leveled at current Florida Gator basketball coach Todd Golden. If you have not heard, it started breaking a couple hours ago, and I'm going to kind of read, and it may be a little boring, but I think the best thing is to read. This is out on all news outlets, so it's been picked up across the country, and it does not read well. They are allegations. I do want to point that out. These are allegations, but there's some uncomfortableness in it. The sheer volume of allegations, anything of this nature, which I will get into and read in a moment, one is too many. The sheer volume of this knocks you back a little bit. But major sexual nature allegations have been levied against current Florida Gator basketball coach, men's basketball coach Todd Golden. As I understand it, the student newspaper, The Alligator, started uncovering this several months ago, back in September. Why it was held, why is it coming to light now? I do not know. But with that said, I didn't really go to a specific news outlet because it's everywhere. It really is everywhere. But here we go. And Zach, I know this may not be great TV radio, but I think I'm going to read a lot of this just to kind of give context and kind of catch people up who have not heard or seen this breaking news. So here we go. This is just randomly from CBS Sports. They're all pretty much the same. So, and I know, Zach, you're catching up as well. So if you want to listen, here we go, and we can comment about it. Florida men's basketball coach Todd Golden is accused of sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, and stalking by multiple women while they were students at the University of Florida, according to the independent Florida Alligator, and is Todd Golden the subject of a Title IX investigation at the university. According to documents obtained by the Alligator, a formal complaint filed September 27th alleges Golden's behavior is in potential violation of the UF gender equity policy that took place during the past 12 months. It's unclear how many women lodged complaints against Golden, but the alligator spoke with 2 women who confirmed Golden acted, according to them, inappropriately toward them. One woman, a former Florida student, told the alligator that Golden stalked her in his car and on foot more than 10 times, and also sent unsolicited photos of his genitalia to her. The second woman, who is also a former Florida student, said Golden used this manipulation tactic over everyone, and that's her quote. We'll go ahead and keep reading here. The 2 women, both claim Golden liked Instagram posts of theirs, sometimes multiple posts at once, in an apparent attempt to get their attention before going back and unliking them to avoid detection. Golden, 39 years old, is entering his 3rd season as a Gator coach after being hired in 2022 following a successful 3-year stint at San Francisco, which culminated with a 24-10 record, first tournament, blah, 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 some other tournament stuff. Florida goes on to say, this article talks about the Gators basketball team, how many players they bring back, and basically, not that this matters in this whole situation, but Florida is good. They're going to be good. They've got a good roster this year. They can really make a nice run. But obviously, this is all playing out. Zach, different outlets get more in depth with this, but it just doesn't sound good. I mean, the sheer volume of this, and I'll try and look at some other ones, Zach, but just a horrible situation. Florida came off the court last night after having defeated Jacksonville University. They beat JU last night in basketball, 2-0, and then this bombshell was dropped. Zach, I don't know how much you're aware of this, but your first thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of went through that same article that you're reading. I did see towards the tail end of it, it says they say that the UF special assistant Ralphie Ferrari and the director of basketball strategy Jonathan Saphir, it says they're complicit in his misconduct. So I guess that means that they didn't actually reach out. They were just like aware of it. Yeah, they didn't like actually contact the women, right? And
hurts, and again, that's allegations, but man, that speaks to a potential cover up, right? I mean,
kind of like I mean, definitely not exactly the same thing, but kind of like how Joe Paterno was aware of the stuff that Sandusky was doing. Yeah, kind of the same.
I thought of the same thing that some people with the Paterno Penn State situation several years ago, which was so awful, but there were people that supposedly knew what was going on and just, almost something like that. I don't know how it works legally, but some things, if you have knowledge of, I think you have to report, or you become complicit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's quite literally like the letter of the law. Yeah. Like if you are aware of that, you're supposed to report, especially, I mean, I don't really know about especially, but it feels like it does seem like it's especially bad for him to be abusing his position of power like this, with it being the students that he's going after. So yeah, I mean, I would just imagine that's got to add. Like, I'm pretty ignorant as far as like how the law works on this, but I would imagine that has to add some sort of like extra layer to this.
And I'll just I'm in another article, but I'm just going to pick up some other areas to give more context for people that may or may not have read any of this. The first woman, a former UF student, said that Golden stalked her in person, both in his car and on foot, and that occurred more than 10 times, as we said. On one occasion, she said she posted her location on Instagram story, and Golden messaged her shortly after saying that he was in the area waiting for her.
Oh, my God.
I just don't like the way that sounds. She also said Golden sent unsolicited photos of his genitalia to her on multiple occasions. The first woman said she received photos while the team was traveling on the road. The nature of Golden's alleged stalking became more assertive over time, she said. At first, it starts off slow, like, oh, wow, that's odd. This guy is showing us attention, the first woman said. And then it becomes, wow, he's kind of crossing a line. No, he didn't mean it that way. Then it's, wait, he's fully stepping over the line. And then it's, wow, there's a picture of his genitalia. It was a full, she just goes on to describe that a little bit. I don't want to get details in that. So that's one of the ladies. Both the first and second woman, also a former UF student, corroborated that Golden liked the Instagram post of theirs dating back to 2023, sometimes even older. Additionally, they said he liked multiple posts at once, supposedly in an attempt to get the women's attention before going back and unliking them to avoid suspicion. Now, that's according to them. He would go at such lengths about it, the first woman said. He would go back like a year back and like 10 photos at once. Then, obviously, he followed up with a DM, always in vanish mode. And I think that the DM kind of goes away in a few seconds. Just really aggressive Instagram stalking is the best way to put it. Golden had been in contact with both women for over a year before unfollowing them after they were told UF began looking into his behavior this past August. Wow. Just trying to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any type of early. I mean, obviously this news just broke like earlier today. I'm trying to see if there's any type of early indication on like what the repercussions for this are going to be. Like as far as within this particular season. And it feels like there's no like real wind on what that's going to be. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised to see something from the University of Florida saying that they've parted ways with him or something like that. But I mean, it also doesn't seem like that's necessarily set in stone. I mean, he could continue coaching there, and
I would certainly think immediately there'll be a suspension and an interim coach named. This, you would just think the sheer volume of this. There's got to be an investigation. Obviously, innocent until proven guilty, and there's got to be an investigation. But the sheer volume of this tells you, or would lead you to believe, this is going to take a while. According to Snoop Report, a publicly accessible Instagram activity tracking software, Golden unfollowed 118 accounts on the platform between August 1 and September 1. At least 20, if not more, of these accounts appear to have been young women without connection to the Florida basketball program or any other organization that Golden had previously affiliated with. The women separately confirmed that Golden had blocked them rather than unfollow it. The second woman said Golden told numerous women that they were his drug or his good luck charm before games. And it just kind of keeps going on. But here's what you were talking about. Both the women also allege UF Special Assistant Ralphie Ferrari and UF Director of Basketball Strategy and Analytics Jonathan Saphir were complicit in Golden's misconduct and had knowledge of it. Neither of the men were mentioned in the Title IX complaint. Neither responded for comment.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it all seems real bad. Was he doing this on his personal, like,
don't know,
at Todd Golden? Yeah.
I don't know if it's a burner phone or whatever. And I've gone this far. Let me go ahead. The first woman said this misconduct goes beyond Golden. She believes there is a culture of sexual harassment within Florida's coaching staff that has only grown since his arrival in Gainesville over 2 years ago. This is Golden's, I think, third year. He just started his third year at Florida. I think it is just a sick, blanking joke that they're all doing within that organization. All the coaches, she said, they probably blah, 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 blah. So this part doesn't need to be mentioned. But yeah, it's it doesn't read well. It's allegations. And just looking ahead, as I said, I would imagine a suspension press release is coming any moment now, right? I would imagine even maybe by the end of this evening that Florida would announce that they're aware of this situation, looking into it. With that, we're going to go ahead and put Todd Golden on paid leave, basically, while we look into it. I don't see any way you could investigate and let him keep coaching. It's too sensitive, Zach. What do you think?
I mean, it feels that way. I mean, I just pulled up the Florida Gators official Twitter just to see if anything had broken since the or show started. I mean, and the latest thing is still that letter from yesterday saying they're going to have Billy Napier continue to be the head coach.
Yeah.
So it is possible that back-to-back posts from the Florida Gators official Twitter could be the one about Billy Napier yesterday and then one today saying they're going to suspend Todd Golden. But as of right now, there is nothing like that.
And let me throw another angle at you. Another reason I'm convinced that they will have to suspend him with pay, I think they'll suspend him. Here's what UF will come out and say, I think. We have made a decision. We are aware of the allegations. We're taking them very seriously. We're going to look into this with our full cooperation of any areas we need. We're going to suspend Todd Golden with pay while we look into this. And here's why I think if Florida is smart, they'll also say, we are asking Todd to stay off of our campus. And the reason I say this is at least two of the women are former students. So you have to be cognizant of, wait a minute, we can't let this guy keep coaching. If there's a chance he stalked at one point female students of ours, right? You got to be sensitive on that.
Yeah, I got the sense from reading the articles that, I mean, it was like a lot of the cases are former students or potentially current students.
Now, let me flip this around. If every one of these allegations, if all of this was about sexual harassment, stalking, this, that, the other thing that we named, if it was all allegedly against just general public women, not students, I think a little different, but the university sees former UF students. There's no way you can err and not have him, I think, banned from your campus for a while. You can't let him back on your campus, I don't think.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think if this happened with a professor, like let's just say a chemistry professor, that would be the case. They would have to be away from the campus. So yeah, I mean,
I think that changes everything. You have to say, hey, you're suspended. We're not saying we think you're guilty, innocent. We need to investigate. This is very, very serious. We're going to get law enforcement involved, obviously, but we just can't have you on the campus. You're paid on leave. You cannot be on the campus around students at the University of Florida because some of these allegations are from students or former students at the University of Florida. Make sense?
Oh, yeah. To me, that's the biggest detail in the whole thing. Like, as you say, if it was just random women, it would probably be a lot. I think it would be, I wouldn't be expecting the suspension notice to come out any second now if it were just random women necessarily. Yeah. But with that being the case, that it is former students, I'm kind of I'm almost like refreshing their feed to see it drop any second almost. Yeah,
definitely. Now, I'm not saying what I'm going to bring up is related, may or may not be, but the Alligator, the newspaper, the Alligator there in Gainesville that supposedly started this and their first public printing of this got this all going. Well, this started back in September. Remember, we were reading that and it said September.
Yeah.
It came out today. I don't know why. I don't know what the delay was. I don't know if they were dotting some I's and crossing some T's, the Alligator or what have you. But it makes you curious. Does this situation with Gator basketball, which might be a mega big, nasty, ugly situation, if proven to be true, did that have any effect on Florida saying, hey, man, the last thing we need to do is go look for a football coach while we're about to get this massively ugly basketball situation going? You wonder, is that did that any?
Yeah, it's potentially
announcement Napier's thing.
It's potentially possible because I believe one of the dates said that this whole thing started in like early October. So it feels like people in the higher ups, people in the need to know positions knew. So it feels like, I mean, that could have been like a preemptive thing to get out in front with the coach Napier to get ahead of this. I mean, possibly. I mean, the timing definitely makes it feel like that. Like I don't necessarily know that's the case, but the time makes it feel like that. And I do feel like people already. I feel like there was a handful of individuals that knew this news was coming already. Yeah.
Now, just looking ahead, we'll come to break and we'll get some other topics. We'll keep this going, and hopefully Patrick can join us. And then Brent Beaird, obviously, will get his take on this topic in the second hour. I looked ahead at the Florida current basketball coaching staff, and there are no former head coaches on the staff. There are no guys on Todd Golden's basketball staff that have former and especially Division I head coaching experience. So, with that said, I think an interim coach will be named during the investigation, which is, of course, forthcoming. Todd Golden on his basketball staff at Florida does have 2 associate head coaches. Carlin Hartman, associate head coach. Corey McRae, associate head coach. So those are the two highest ranking coaches on Todd Golden's coaching staff. Neither one of those guys, according to my research earlier today, looking at their bios, neither one of those guys have been former college basketball head coaches. That puts you in a little bit of an awkward situation, but one of those guys is going to get named the interim coach. But just, a lot of times you've got a former head coach on your staff somewhere, and you kind of lean toward that guy becoming the interim coach. But it'll be Hartman or McRae, and I certainly think that, yes, there will be a announcement from UF Sports Information soon that they're going to have to ask Todd Golden to take a leave while this thing is being investigated. And, again, I think that they have to take it to another level, and I can't imagine allowing him on campus. Maybe, and if I'm wrong there, if I'm being – the sky is falling down, Chicken Little, maybe I am, but with it potentially involving students, University of Florida students, or former students, I would try to really cover my you-know-what and say, hey, Todd, take some time off, paid leave while we investigate, but you can't come back on campus right now. You just cannot do it. All right. Tough stuff that pushed a lot of stuff back. Trevor Lawrence, will he or won't he play on Sunday? Will he have surgery? And will that shelve him for the rest of the season, right? The Jaguars season going nowhere at 2-7. But what happens with the Jaguars? 2 or 3 wins toward the end of the year changes your draft position. Do you want to have 2 or 3 wins? I'm saying that in jest a little bit. But, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. We'll talk about that. I want to do a Bronny James update. And, Zach, we got to get our picks out there. And just in case Patrick is tied up, we might want to go ahead and start working on our show picks during the next segment. We'll talk college football and basketball in hour 2, remember now, today with Brent Beaird, who joins us just about every single Friday. It is a Friday. You know that by now. Beautiful weather, warm, gosh darn, mid-80s in early November. You got to love it here in the state of Florida. We'll take a break, come back live from BRIX Jax Beach, Friday edition. The Young and Norvelle Show continues.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Okay, still no answer. Will DJ Lagway play? Will he try to play? Will he be in the bullpen if needed, if Florida falls behind at Texas? That is a to be determined. Hard to believe that he won't start the game. If he plays, I think it'll be a surprise, but he definitely won't start the game. Florida will go with some combination of their backup quarterbacks and see how the game goes. The problem is, if you do that, you may look up and it's 21-0 before you're out of the first quarter with Texas. Pretty good college football weekend. We'll look at that, particularly in hour number 2 with Brent Beaird breaking down college football. We'll continue the Todd Golden allegations story that is breaking of sexual nature. Doesn't sound good, but we'll get into that also in hour 2 with Brent Beaird. Pretty nice weekend in the NFL. It started last night with a terribly, terribly entertaining ball game. Cincinnati in a game they really needed. The Bengals playing a division game against Baltimore. The Bengals 4-5 going in last night. They lose a heartbreaker. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow put on a show. They did everything they could handle or they could hope for, but Baltimore pulled it out by a point. So the Ravens 7-3, and that may go ahead and kick Cincy to sleep at 4-6. Zach Rothrock, speaking of that game, that was you went ahead and went Thursday night on us for our 3 picks.
How about that? Yeah, for the Big 15.
Yeah, we'll do that a little bit later. But, yeah, you're off and running at a plus 15 in that. You took the points, and the points were good to you, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good to know that I can at the least break even, getting the Big 15 right. Yeah, I mean, I thought the Bengals were going to win outright, but they were able to at least, keep it close.
Zach, for a guy coming in last place in the negative numbers, you were a cocky son of a gun yesterday. You jumped into that game and said, hey, I'm doing a Thursday night game, my man.
Yeah, I feel like I know the AFC North teams pretty well, and I say that, but I've picked a few of their games wrong this year, and that's kind of what's got me into this hole. But I feel like I expected that game to be close and relatively high scoring, and it was.
All right, so that's our 3-pack that me, you, and Patrick do. Okay, so you're 1-0 off and running.
Yeah.
We'll do those in a little bit. We'll finish those off, but let's you and I go ahead in case Patrick is not able to join us. Let's go ahead and get our show picks. We do our show against all the other shows here on Action Sports Jax. 3 college, 3 pro. The games are given to us. We don't pick the games, right? They're given to us, and we all pick them as a show. All right, you ready to go? Let's start with our college. All right, Zach, you and I we've got to kind of come to a consensus here. Big game. 2 huge games in the SEC tomorrow. Big game in Oxford. Where
Oh,
Ole
this is
Miss,
one of the ones I want to do. Yeah.
Ole Miss hosting Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Basically an elimination game, I think. What do you think? Ole
More or
Miss has
less.
losses. If they lose, that's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Their conference losses. Georgia's got 1. Be tough. Georgia on the road, they're given 2.5 points. So Ole Miss is the favorite. I'm sorry. Georgia's giving 2.5 points, even on the road, right?
Correct.
Ole Miss at home. Kiffin still hasn't got that one big win, right, over the Alabama or the Georgia the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Zach, what happens tomorrow? Where should we go here with this game?
Well, despite Ole Miss having what I assume has to be a record 27 players listed on the injury report, which I think is definitely a tongue-in-cheek response from Lane Kiffin. Yeah, despite that, I really like their chances. I think the wrong team is favored. I think the Ole Miss has the best offense in the SEC, and Georgia's kind of shown that they got they're not this picture perfect team they have been. I think the NIL transfer portal has made it harder for them to keep their depth, and I like Ole Miss, especially getting a couple points at home.
I tell you what, Zach, you and I are on the same page here. We're on the same page. I think this is that first really signature big boy win for Lane Kiffin, and I don't fault him. It's hard. He's at Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss never wins big. Ole Miss hasn't won diddly poo in 65 years. Well, I think what Kiffin's done at Ole Miss is phenomenal. Just getting them in that 9, 10, 11 win range consistently. I'm with you. I think Ole Miss tomorrow at home, and we get 2.5 points in this, Zach. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of those where the wrong team's favored. I do.
Yeah, Georgia. And I'm with you. I do think Georgia's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. They're good. And you know what? With the right breaks, Georgia could win the national title. I do think Georgia's one of the 7, 8, 9 teams that could win the national title. But I will say this, Zach, and I want your comment. And this is no knock at Georgia and Kirby. It's hard to stay up here, man. It is hard to stay up here. But this Georgia team is nowhere near as talented as the last 5 or 6 years. This is clearly, I think, the least talented Georgia team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it feels like that's the case, particularly at the outside the skill position. I don't think they've really got a guy that strikes fear in the defense's heart, like a Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey, George Pickens type. I just don't think they have a guy like that. And I think their defensive depth with the transfer portal has gotten a little slimmer, and they don't have the guys that can just rotate in and out and keep their guys fresh the whole time.
And I mean, how many more games is Carson Beck going to throw multiple interceptions before it bites him in the rear? And it bit him in Tuscaloosa in the first half. But, I mean, Georgia was begging to get beat last Saturday here in Jacksonville. They were trying to get beat.
Oh, they were. I think very popular consensus opinion, and I agree with most people that if DJ Lagway had stayed healthy, the Florida would have won that game. I feel that happening. I mean, obviously, if Carson Beck were to protect the football and not turn it over, Georgia could definitely win this game. But it just feels like their offense is really stagnant. They got a lot of issues, and I don't know how many times they can put their defense behind the 8 ball if they keep on going 3 and out and turn the ball over, if they can keep getting bailed out by the defense, because Ole Miss offense is real.
I think Ole Miss is going to score in the high 20s, 30s. I think Ole Miss may touch 31 points in this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see more, potentially.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Ole Miss is going to get in the 30s. I don't know if I don't know if Georgia. I don't know if Georgia can score with them. And I think Ole Miss has revamped their defense enough to where they can put the collar on some teams now. I mean, they used to have to beat you 47-37. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Georgia doesn't make it out of the 20s. I think Ole Miss is getting in the 30s in this game.
Oh, really I mean, Alabama was able to score, I think, 38, 40 points on Georgia. I don't see why Ole Miss can't. And, Ole Miss, they got a couple of really decent pass rushers that could put Carson Beck in the hole. Number 2, I can't think what his name is. He wears number 2. He's pretty good for Ole Miss.
They got Princely from Florida. They've got a nice I think they got the big guy, Nolan, from Texas A&M. I
believe that's who I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's who you're talking about, the big tackle.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Second game, our show picks. And this game on paper has a lot of characteristics of the first game we just picked. Alabama on the road, second big game in the SEC tomorrow. Alabama minus 2.5, just like Georgia, even though they're on the road at LSU. At LSU.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, I'm torn on this game. I'll lead this one off. I just don't trust LSU enough. I know they're at home, and Brian Kelly has beaten Alabama. He's one of the few guys that has figured out, and he beat him. He was a swashbuckler, went for 2. Remember that? Got the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Alabama, even though they're giving 2 on the road. Is LSU good enough to knock off Alabama? And I know it's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, Baton Rouge at nighttime, as it always is when they seem to play a home game. I kind of feel like the same way. I haven't been particularly impressed by LSU. I know a few people have been impressed by their quarterback.
Yeah.
But I'm mainly lean towards Alabama here. Mainly, I don't know, mainly because I think that Jalen Milroe is a really good college quarterback, and it's hard for them to stop that guy from running.
I have a coin. I would almost toss a coin here, but
it's tough. I mean, it's tough not to take the home underdog when they're getting points in the situation too, though.
I know.
We should let Patrick do this one.
You just killed me right there. All right, let's I need to toss a coin or something here.
I think if Patrick's got a strong take on this one, we should go with whatever his take is.
Well, we may not see Patrick. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, let's take LSU. Let's roll the dice. We're going to take a few points. Let's roll the dice. We're taking LSU.
I always like being the home team and getting points. Always.
Yes. Yeah, let's take LSU in that one. Okay. Our third game is a really interesting game. We never, ever, ever would have thought this would be a discussable game in the second Saturday of November, and this game would also have bowl level implications. You know what I mean by bowl level? You know, if you keep winning, Vanderbilt's going to a bowl.
Get the eligibility, yeah.
If they win another game or two, they go up here bowl level. South Carolina is at Vanderbilt. Okay? South Carolina needs one more win to get bowl eligible. South Carolina on the road giving 4 points. 4 points. And I know Vanderbilt's not a snake pit, right? That's not a snake pit of a
only 20,000 fans or so currently.
You know South Carolina well. You've seen Vanderbilt's one of the great stories of college football. Zach, what's your feeling? South Carolina trying to get bowl eligible, giving away 4 points on the road at Vandy.
Well, I quite literally see 2 different stories here. One is that, this South Carolina defense team, this one, the 2024 version, their defense travels. They can play defense. They can run the ball. Their defensive edge rushers, Dylan Stewart, Kyle Kennard, are elite. The second side of the coin is I've seen time and time again through my life where the Gamecocks get a big win, and then the next week they go into a game that they're favored to win again, and then they lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I've seen it happen so many times that I can't get it out of my memory that this is going to be another one of those. But
it's Vandy. They're playing Vandy.
This Vandy team feels different. That this Dylan Pavia guy, he's legit. They got a decent players on defense. They've beaten Alabama.
And Pavia, the quarterback for Vandy, he's one of those guys that he literally, his teammates think he's something magical. You know what I mean? And he brings his teammates with him. They think, well, you know what?
An elevator.
We're losing, but we've got Pavia. We've got Diego. With that said, where would you lean? There's 4 points involved. South Carolina's giving them. Where would you lean right now? And I'll give you my opinion, and we'll make our pick.
I mean, I can't go against the South Carolina Gamecocks when they got Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart at defensive end. I think those guys are game wreckers.
I'm going to go with you. I think, and I'll go with that defense. Pavia, he's a magical. He's nowhere near the athlete, but he's got a little Johnny Manziel in him.
For sure.
He's a what am I trying to say? Sandlot football player. He's really good at Sandlot where the play breaks down, but I think those nasty defensive linemen are going to win much more than Pavia wins. And I don't know if he's seen this kind of rush. And you know what? I think Shane Beamer on the road will have his team stirred up for that bowl game. They're one win away from let's go with South Carolina. We're giving away. We are giving away some points, but I think when it's over, South Carolina wins by 7 to 10. I'd be surprised if they don't win by 10-ish.
Yeah, I mean, basically the only offense they haven't shut down for the most part this year has been Ole Miss. Texas A&M didn't score a point in the second half.
How about that? All right, let's get to the NFL games we've got to pick as a team here, as a show team. 49ers, McCaffrey, it looks like he is finally back. The 49ers are the road team. They are at Tampa, and the 49ers are giving away almost a touchdown, 6.5. The Bucs, to me, it feels like the Bucs are they need to stop by the gas station and get some new gas in the car. It seems like they're getting a little tired. You know what I mean? The season drags on at times. 49ers traveling all the way across country. Buccaneers, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, what they really need to see if they can find a Mike Evans and Chris Godwin clone at the gas station, because I see they're really missing. But, man, Christian McCaffrey first game back, I think he's expected to play about 70% of the snaps. I probably like the 49ers to win by a touchdown. I think this is going to be like the first game that they come back and actually are back. But the Buccaneers, man, Baker Mayfield he's been on fire, and but I just don't see how much that him and K-Dotton can realistically do against this 49ers team.
Yeah. I'm with you. Let's go ahead and make a consensus. We'll take the 49ers. Traveling 3,000 miles.
Oh, yeah, they got to play at 10 a.m. their local time, too. I don't love that idea.
I don't love it either. And they're giving away a touchdown, basically 6.5. But I'm taking the 49ers with you, and that's our pick. Detroit Lions, a lot of whispers now. Detroit's the best team in the NFL. There's a lot of whispers that are growing, and they're going to be a hard out, man. They were a hard out last year in the playoffs. But Detroit, on the road, traveling to the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Detroit, boy, there's a lot of road teams that are giving away points. How about that? A lot of home teams are, road teams are giving away points. The Lions minus 3.5 at the Texans. The Texans haven't been as crisp as I thought they were going to be this year. I thought they were going to be a little more crisp, but they play in a great division, right? They play in a great division that they're running away with. How do you see this? The Lions taking on the Texans in Houston.
Well, I was feeling the Texans because they're getting their guy Nico Collins back, but I don't love the idea that earlier in the day this was Detroit minus 3.5 and it is now moved to Detroit minus 4.
And what does it tell you?
That usually means that people are picking Detroit to win the game or somehow or another.
Way more points. Yeah.
But I mean, I still I think Houston's a different team when Nico Collins is playing, and he's back.
He's nice, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back. He's coming off IR. He's supposed to. All sources indicate that he should be playing. So if you give me 3.5 and they get him, I like that. Yeah, it just says he was limited at practice on Friday. I think I like Houston getting points, and yeah, I know that Detroit is rolling. Everyone's picked to win the NFC, and they probably are the best team in the NFC. But that's when you come down to earth and lose the game. Is when everyone's only like that.
I like what you just said. I think Detroit's better, and they're a really, really good team. But the NFL, it's hard to win a bunch of games. Jason, get over here. It's hard to win a bunch of games in a row. Let's go with Detroit, and then finally Vikings in town. Minus 7.5, a little over a touchdown at the Jaguars. It appears that Trevor might be done for the year. He's probably not going to play Sunday. I'm assuming we go Vikings here. Is that right?
Yeah. What's the spread? 7.5?
I'm showing minus 7.5 for the Vikings.
Yeah. I've seen some things saying that Trevor might be playing potentially. But yeah, either way, I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings. I think Justin Jefferson.
We've got our picks in. Let's talk to Jason Reynolds. Jason, how the heck are
sure.
you? Good. Jerry, you here okay? Yeah. You good? Okay. Yeah. Jason Reynolds, busy man. Man, you made it through Florida, Georgia weekend, and tell me, you were here and there and up and down. You had a chili cook-off in the middle of what in the world?
I know. We were busy, but it was so much fun.
It was, man. I had a blast.
I'm glad you were here.
It was fun. The Florida, Georgia weekends have been a blast, and I know we're going to lose this game for a little while. It's got to hurt a little bit, but it's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back. But, I mean, they put a lot of money up in Atlanta and Tampa. Are you in Tampa?
Yeah, Tampa for the Florida end of it, and then Atlanta. But they announced it's coming back.
Yeah.
And that worried everybody, Jason, because, getting that 4-year agreement on the back end after Tampa and Atlanta got blood in the mouth, they tasted blood, they go, wait a minute. I was really excited that we have it on paper. It's coming back for 4 years.
Yep.
4 years. What's going on with you guys? What's new?
We're doing good. Just getting ready for the Texas Florida game this weekend. Then you got
high noon.
Yeah, then you got Georgia, Ole Miss,
Alabama, LSU.
Boy. And then I think you got Florida State, Notre Dame. Maybe they can upset them.
Yes. Ooh.
That too soon?
Who saw that coming? FSU 1-8 and spiraling down the drain.
That was shocking. We have a huge FSU fan base here, and I think they're crippled. They feel really, really bad about it, and they'll turn it around. He's a good coach. I think Tom. But I've got an Iggy for you.
What do you got?
My brother Joe Reynolds is 43 years, retired today.
Really?
Yep.
Had this been set in stone for a while, or did it happen quick? Or?
Yeah, we've been begging him to because he's old and he's ornery, and so I thought I'd come on and let you know.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we'll have to get him on.
Oh, and talk about Joe.
Yep.
Most people know. People on this side of the ditch know him.
Yep. Most
people in Duval County know of him and Joe. Give a thumbnail of. Who is he's not going away? I mean, who is Joe Reynolds? He came from where he came and his path.
You know, he was a Mayport kid, lived on Mayport Road his whole life, went to University of Florida on a full football scholarship, and came right back and got into coaching and teaching and been at Fletcher forever. The two things that I love about him is he's so respectful and he takes care of all the kids and the parents that come back and tell how much he's done for their kids and all over the years. And that to me was that was enjoyable to see that part. And, he raised over $3 million for Fletcher Athletics over the years. And they still have a great endowment down there and nobody ever talks about, but they still have good money down there. And
that's wonderful.
They're doing good. Theatrics doing, better. They got to get better, but they're young.
Yeah.
And but in the end, I'm glad he kind of got out of it.
Gosh darn, how long was he the head football coach? I know he's been the AD as well, but how long was he the football coach?
He was the head football coach for almost 20 years.
Good Lord. Good Lord. How many lives has he shaped coming through here? And when I run into him, man, he's a celebrity, man.
Yeah.
Because he has shaped so many lives that are still hanging around this area.
He did. And, we're blessed and blessed to call him my brother, and it was awesome. So
what's he going to do in retirement? What does he have any hobbies? Is he going to just hang out at the school still? And
he'll be there, I'm sure, just hanging out. And, Brian Gilbert took over as the new AD. And, so that's
he's
exciting.
Still basketball as well? Or?
He's basketball.
Yeah.
Yep.
And AD.
And AD now. And
he's carved out a nice Fletcher. He's a Fletcher guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's now a
through and through.
Yep. Fletcher guy. Are there any public plans? Are there any celebrations? Or is there a way anybody can or are you still putting all that together?
Yeah, we're putting it together. We're gonna, he's
got to be a Joe Reynolds night or day or something. Yeah, I know people are gonna want to, I don't know if it's sign a big banner or buy a brick or something, but you guys will do something, right?
We're gonna do something.
Well, I mean, he is the Reynolds family. You guys are purple.
Yeah, we
through
are.
And through.
All our kids went there. We're very blessed, and
What are your kids went?
Yeah.
Ivy League or something?
Yeah, went to Princeton.
How did that kid get that smart?
His mama.
Hey, before we go, we'll take a break here.
Yep.
Mark Jackson was here hanging out at BRIX, and I go way back with Mark. I know you guys are just lifelong friends. He was such a good athlete. What a great athlete, great basketball player.
Yep.
His son is playing college basketball.
He's at JU. Had some buckets last night against University of Florida. He's freshman. He's a player. There's no doubt about it. If they give him a chance, he's going to light it up.
How about that? And I meant to ask Mark, but I forgot, and I got in here and started setting the gear up. Did UNF make a run at him too? I mean, a local kid, or was he JU through and through kind of thing?
No, I don't think UNF wanted him.
Okay.
Very weird. So I put that little Iggy out there. Put that little Iggy out there. I think that they play each other. Ooh. And I'll be courtside for that one.
Nice.
I can assure you.
I like it. And his name is people.
Kent Jackson.
Kent Jackson.
KJ. They call him KJ. Yep.
And got him a couple buckets against the Gators.
Couple buckets.
So he's a player.
Oh, he's a player.
What's his size? Will he keep growing, do you think? Or what's he at right now?
Yeah, he's about 6'3".
Is he a 1 or a 2, or just kind of a tweener?
He just shoots the odds out.
Yeah, so he's more of a 2, probably. So he wants to spot up and shoot.
He wants to shoot it.
Yeah, okay.
He pulled up at the Gator the Gator logo last night and nailed one from pretty big time.
It drained it.
Hey, I don't think the net moved.
Wow. So that's great. All right, Jason, keep us posted on Joe.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for being at the BRIX.
Man, are you kidding me? It's a great relationship. That's exciting about Joe, and he needs to kick back, but he won't. No. He won't. I guarantee you'll know where to find Joe on Friday nights in high school football season.
He'll be on a golf cart sitting at Fletcher.
Thanks, Jason.
Yes, sir.
That's our buddy Jason Reynolds here from BRIX, and that's exciting. Joe Reynolds, everybody knows Joe. Joe is a fixture here in the Beach and Duval County when it comes to high school sports. He was the longtime football coach. He's the longtime athletic director, and he's really one of the spokespeople of the Beach. Really, really well respected across Duval County athletics and teaching. So congratulations to Joe Reynolds. He deserves some time away, but he won't slow down. I guarantee that. All right, Zach, I think we blew through. Let's take a quick break. Come back. We'll reset the second hour. We'll reset where we're going to go. Hour number 2. We hope to hear from Brent Beaird, and we'll with Brent, we'll get back into the breaking story. The major allegations of a sexual nature have been levied against Gator basketball coach Todd Golden. We'll get Brent Beard's take on it. He's probably dug into it a little bit further. That and a whole lot more. We got some more picks to do, and wanted to get some Bronny James talk on here, Zach, but we'll see if we can squeeze Bronny James in as we go. Friday edition, thanks to our good friends, our Friday location sponsor for the longest time, BRIX Jax Beach. Come down today, tomorrow, all weekend. Plenty of action, great specials, great people watching, just a fun place with tremendous TVs. A great setup here to follow football this weekend. BRIX Jax Beach.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX Jax Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports, from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
All right, let's try to squeeze in a couple of other topics. Certainly the Todd Golden situation, the news, the allegations have dominated our show today. Obviously, we've gotten into our Friday picks that we do. We still have our individual picks to get to, college football and or NFL football. We'll get to those here in hour number 2. We hope to hear from Brent Beaird. So in a little bit and talk some college ball and the Todd Golden situation. But wanted to get a couple things out, and we're having fun with this. I'm kind of a Bronny James fan. I don't think he's a very good basketball player in terms of NBA game, but I feel that he's been done wrong. Did you hear that basically Bronny James and LeBron James specifically, it's now official that LeBron James, his bring your son to work days are over, right? So the Lakers sent Bronny James down to the G League, which is where he should be. I know they made a big deal, the Lakers and LeBron, and actually Bronny played in like 3 or 4 NBA games, legitimate regular season games. He played a minute or 2 here, and he was on the court with his dad, and people made such a big deal. I thought it was just a farce. Obviously, it was contrived. It was fake, but I don't blame Bronny for that. I blame LeBron for putting his son in a terrible, terrible situation. But it looks like now Bronny is where he's supposed to be, down in the G League working on his game. Don't forget, LeBron basically got him drafted as well. And the way drafts work, and you're kind of slotted. So, and Zach, I don't know if you're tied up, but if you could jump on, the way professional leagues, NBA, NFL, MLB, if you get drafted, you're going to make X. A lot of these places are slotted. So,
yeah.
Bronny James would have never even gotten drafted. He got drafted in the second round, and that's a chunk of money. Even if you never made the NBA, that's a chunk of money. So LeBron strong-armed that too, didn't he?
He is quite literally King James. He is the king of the NFL. He's the GM of the Lakers. He calls all the shots and he does all the things. I mean, they're doing well. He's performing well so far this year, so I guess they got that going for him.
Did you get my line, though? I think it's kind of funny. The bring your son to work days are over now.
I got you. Yeah, it's over. He's going back to preschool. He's going back to the G League.
Big LeBron was bringing little Bronny to work.
Yeah.
Okay, that's over now. You got.
They got their photo. They got their clip.
Hey, I didn't know if we got to this. We've been so busy all week, but I've got a wacky idea, and Deion Sanders is just unconventional enough. Jerry Jones is certainly unconventional. Wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, he marches to his own drum, man.
I would say so.
Why did I wake up a day or two and I had this idea? And I think this could be done. I think Jerry Jones, with his clout, could strong arm enough. And we've seen sports get strong armed. We've seen leagues. You've seen Eli Manning strong arm the NFL. He did not want to go and for San Diego, right?
Oh yeah.
He's strong armed. Hell, way back John Elway strong-armed his way. He manipulated where he went to play, and he used baseball to do it, right? John Elway played minor. I said, hell with it. I'm going to go play minor league baseball unless I go where I want to go and how I want to. So it's happened before. Zach, call me crazy, but I think the Dallas Cowboys will be looking for a football coach. Do you think they're going to fire McCarthy?
I'm with you so far on step one. I think that part happens.
I think Dallas is looking for a football coach. I think Jerry Jones is just unconventional enough and maybe even desperate. He's running out of time to get good again, right? I mean, Jerry's 110, right? About 110 years old.
Give or take a year or two. Yeah, he's up there.
Oh, I think he's 108. I'm sorry.
There you go.
108. I'm sorry, Jerry. I have a weird feeling. I could see Deion Sanders, his son Shador is leaving Colorado. I think he's ready to go play. I think he might have an extra year if he needed it, but I think Shador is done. Wouldn't you say that?
Well, I remember seeing, I think it was a press conference or something, a reporter asked him if he had registered for classes in the spring, and he said he is going to the league. So, yes, yeah. I'm with you on step two. I think he's leaving.
And he's going to be a top 5 pick, from what I hear. He's going to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board.
That's what they say. That feels like it's not going to work out to me, but that's what they say.
Yeah. Now, with all that on the case, I can see Deion and Jerry Jones already starting to work a little bit of a deal. Deion's not staying at Colorado much longer, particularly without his kids there, right? Would you agree with that? He's
perhaps
not lifer at Colorado.
Yeah, feels like he probably wants to go to a bigger job,
such as maybe the Dallas Cowboys.
This is where I'm jumping off the train. I don't know about this.
How about Deion?
I do think ESPN would love this.
I do too. How about Deion and Jerry working out a deal? Deion's going to be the next Cowboys head coach, and Jerry Jones and Deion. I think you could manipulate it. And by the way, the Cowboys are going to have how many wins are they at? What are they at? Like 4 wins? I mean, they're going to pick somewhere in the top 12 or 15.
Not many wins.
Yeah. Can you see Jerry Jones and Deion somehow strong-arming Shador Sanders going to Dallas? Now, that's all part of it. All part of Deion going to coach his son at Dallas.
They're 3-5. They're 3-5, so they should have a top 10, maybe top 5 pick when it's all said and done. Dak is going to miss a few games, so that's only going to hurt things most likely. So yeah, they could be picking really high up there.
And you know, a lot of stuff gets done around the NFL draft way before the day of the NFL draft or the days, right? I could see Dallas working the back channels, and particularly when the draft gets closer and we know who's where. And if we see, okay, maybe the first 2 or 3 teams, maybe they don't need a quarterback, right? The first 2 or 3.
Yeah. So there's a roadblock here, though.
Hold on. For example, what if the Jaguars are one of the top 3 or 4? Well, Dallas doesn't have to worry about the Jaguars. They're not taking a quarterback, so that's one you can say. I could see Jerry Jones and Dallas putting together some stuff and back channeling, and if they could get to 3 or 2 and know that the first 2 teams ahead of them aren't going quarterback, they're going to bring in Deion Sanders and Shador Sanders. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Yeah, well, so the roadblock, the same reason why the Jaguars wouldn't take him is because they got Trevor Lawrence to a almost $300 million deal. The Cowboys just extended Dak Prescott for 4 years. This year, so 3 more years after this year for $240 million. And I'm not saying they can't get a top pick because no one's gonna want that. That'd be an impossible to move contract because you know why? Because it's an awful contract because no one wants to pay Dak Prescott that much money.
Nothing's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos got rid of Russell Wilson. They just ate $38 million and got rid of him. They did. It is possible.
And don't ever doubt people that their net worth starts with a B.
I understand. But I don't know. I just feel like this is fairy tale stuff, man. I really do.
What was the deal? Jerry Jones buys the Cowboys way back when. And the NFL is a Pepsi league, and he went Coke, or the NFL is a Coca-Cola league, and he went Pepsi. Remember that? Jerry Jones said, I cut a better deal than you, the league. The hell with you. He's always done his march to his own drum.
Yeah, he has, and I don't necessarily know that it's worked out good for him, which means he might do some psycho move like this, and also it definitely won't work out. Deion Sanders just doesn't feel like an NFL coach to me. He seems like he's an excellent recruiter, and I think he's an elite college football recruiter, and he can continue doing that. And maybe he wants to leave Colorado to go to a bigger college job, but I just really don't. And I don't see him being Jerry Jones's yes man, because whenever you're the
Let me back up though. Let me back up here, and I should have interjected this. I'm not saying Deion's going to be a good NFL coach or the right guy or going to be successful. No. I'm just saying I think this is crazily happened.
I understand.
Yeah. I just don't see Deion going, especially staying in college. The last thing he's going to want to do when his kids are gone, he's not going to want to NIL and portal. I like the NIL and I like the portal. Deion Sanders isn't going to want to do all that. He's not going to want to do all that.
I feel like what he really doesn't want to do is grind film and be an NFL head coach. And I think his skills.
He has to be that kind of coach. I think he can be Deion, the CEO coach, and let his coaching staff do all that. I think he can be the, they're all not. You're either a coach that coaches players or a coach that coaches coaches.
Yeah.
I think he could be a CEO type coach, and he would be. I don't know.
He might could. I don't think he would be successful. And I know that you're saying that's not the point. You're just saying that this is just something that could happen. That's not really the point. Maybe Jerry Jones is a wild individual. He could potentially do this, I guess. And it does feel like they would have the draft pick where they would be in that position to make that happen. And I do like how he linked it into the Lakers with what LeBron James did.
Or let me back this up. Or for and I picked out Dallas because he had Deion was a star everywhere, but he was special. There was something about him in that Dallas uniform, right?
Oh yeah, I can see that connection. Yeah. If Deion Sanders was going to coach an NFL team, it would be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm with you on that. I just don't think.
Or maybe the number one team out there that gets the draft, number one. Maybe they are desperate for a quarterback, and Deion goes to that. I could see Deion saying, "Me and my son are."
You really think he's going ahead of Cam Ward? Why not Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders? I've seen. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people like the general consensus seems to be Sanders number one. It really does.
I do think those two, and I've seen them all, and I think Cam Ward's going to win the Heisman, and he deserves the Heisman. I do think, just my naked eye, that Shedeur Sanders throws a better football than Cam Ward. Cam Ward makes more plays because he's more college athletic, and he's more. But I think Shedeur throws the ball more pure than Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's got a lot of that street ball in him. He makes the plays.
I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like Sanders is the one that plays with the wheels off and just goes out there running wild. Maybe I'm missing something here.
Shedeur is anywhere near the scrambling, keep a play alive. Cam Ward, that's his game.
Yeah, I get that. I think that's a good thing to have. That's part of the reason why I think he's the guy that I would rather have. I like his. I've seen people compare him to Nikola Jokic, and I really like that comparison. How he just kind of moves and he just kind of just knows where to be and where to go, and he makes it look effortless. I think there's something to that. They're going to be they're both going to be the guy heading into the season. I thought it was going to be between Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers, but definitely not. I mean, at this juncture, it really does seem like it's Sanders and Cam Ward.
Sanders, Cam Ward, the Boise State Genty is going to get in there. I just don't think his competition is good enough. I would have trouble. Not that particularly Cam Ward. Not that his schedule is great. It's way better than Boise State's schedule. Way better.
Oh yeah. Boise State. They don't. I mean, they basically play the MAC. Isn't that what they're in? They don't really play anywhere, even in SEC. Mountain West. Yeah, MW. Yeah, it's Mountain West. That's what it is.
You've got me this whole discussion about Deion and Shedeur, and will Deion be a package deal? Let's look at the standings real quick. The NFL and you're starting to see who's going to get high picks. New England, they're 2-7. Would they be in the quarterback market? Cleveland 2-7. Would they be in the quarterback market? Jacksonville 2-7. No, I think we've determined that. Obviously,
So,
Las Vegas Raiders 2-7. Would they be in the quarterback market?
yeah, they would be.
New York. How about Dion in New York? The Giants. Do they need a quarterback? Do they need
They should be looking for one. Yeah.
How about New York? Dion, the Big Apple. You talk about an infusion of excitement, and he comes on with his son. He says, "I'm the coach. If you want my son, if not, hell, we'll hold out or we'll go back to college. Don't forget, you can use that card, right?"
Yeah, I'm seeing a CBS mock draft that has Shedeur Sanders going to the Panthers, even though they just took Bryce Young at pick number 4.
I was going to say the Panthers are 2-7. New Orleans 2-7. Do they need quarterbacks?
The same mock draft has them getting Cam Ward at pick 3.
How about that?
And Travis Hunter going number 1 overall to the Patriots.
I'll tell you, the Giants are intriguing. If it's not Dallas, like I said, and Dallas may not pick high enough, but couldn't you see if the Giants get the 1 pick, they need a quarterback. And Dion says, "Hey, my man," and this happens. You know what happens. Back channels happen. Dion says, "Hey, Giants, we're a package deal, my man, or we're going next year. You probably won't get him. You won't be sitting in that number 1 spot. Do you want him? Do you want me? We're coming."
I can see it happening. Yeah, I see them picking number 7, so they get Garrett Nussmeier, but that would insinuate that if they were picking number 1, they'd be getting either Ward or Sanders. So yeah, I mean that's a viable. They're looking to get out of that Daniel Jones deal. They're looking to get out from underneath that.
What you just said is a great astute point. If the Giants in that mock are taking Nussmeier at 7, that means they want a quarterback according to that mock.
Yeah.
And would you rather have Shedeur Sanders or Garrett Nussmeier? Well, of course, you'd rather take your chances with Shedeur Sanders. Probably.
Yeah, it feels like there's going to be it'll be like how when Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota were coming out, how it's the 2 guys, which in this year will be Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and then there's going to be like a drop off. I think that's how they're going to be viewed.
Yeah. Okay, let me amend it a little bit. Maybe it won't be the Cowboys necessarily, but I could see Dion and Shedeur strong-arming the NFL. And Dion is in the NFL next year coaching. I don't think he's at Colorado even one more year after the kids get out of there. I just don't.
I agree that I think he's going to leave Colorado, but I think it's going to be to a bigger marquee NFL or college job. I think so.
I think he's just moonlighting. He wants to get to the biggest. Dion is prime time. The NFL is the biggest.
That's
of the
true.
big.
That is true.
What about prime time in the Big Apple? Ooh.
That'd be something. When the Giants are good and the Giants are big. It's hard to get a much bigger brand than New York. Yeah,
no doubt. Hey, let's take a little bit of an early break. Brent Beaird said he's going to join us shortly. That'll give us some extra time. Let's take a break and we'll try and hook up with Brent Beaird. We've also got our picks we got to get out. Zach, don't let me forget that. All right, back after this quick timeout on the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live from BRIX Jax Beach.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX Jax Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, as second hour here on the program, we'll talk to Brent Beaird, our buddy who is kind enough to be a big part of our show. Brent is a wonderful college sports analyst, obviously specializing in college football and college basketball. And Brent, sometimes you just have to call audibles. You know, we're going to talk some college football, and we're in college football season. But man, breaking news out of Gainesville, the allegations of sexual nature against Todd Golden. I know you've had time to now digest it, look at it, read it, and the black and white, and their allegations, I want to say that right now, but boy, the black and white, the sheer volume of, gosh, sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, on and on. Brent, what is your early take on this developing story?
It's shocking in a lot of ways. Now, I don't know if this ends up being a he said, she said, but now look, you get this. I know is when you've got Title IX implications, Terry, that is a different animal.
Really is.
And when you've got Title IX implications, what that means is it's going to take longer than it normally does. So, I mean, for what you and I do, the immediate thing is, what happens to him? Is he going to be suspended? Someone else take over temporarily? There are a lot of questions still unanswered about this, Terry, and where it's going. It's a really obviously difficult story. I mean, obviously, if it's true, he'll be gone. And Mike Stars, it really makes you and I know some Gator fans have said the same thing this afternoon. Can they ever catch a break? And they haven't lately, have they?
Yeah, not at all. And let me, in a nutshell, catch people up that don't know what we're talking about. Earlier today, a report that really started being put together in September by the Alligator, an independent newspaper in Gainesville, came out and said that Todd Golden, current Gator basketball coach, has been accused of allegedly sexually harassing through social media, through in person, through following, through taking pictures, through sending explicit pictures of himself, his private genitalia, asking for to multiple women, and several of these young ladies were UF students at the time. And Brent Beaird, that to me, that also adds another layer. So that's where we're at.
Wow.
Innocent until proven guilty. But when Zach and I were talking, I think at minimum, obviously, University of Florida will come out, I think, within hours and say, we are suspending with pay because, you're not getting with pay.
Right.
Todd Golden, as we investigate. And, Brent, I think because the allegations were, at the time, students at UF and former students now, you almost have to tell him, Todd, you can't come on campus right now. I think because of that, you can't have him just in and out around your female student body just to be safe. Am I being too Pollyanna there?
No, look, you and I know the legal implications of things like that. When you're dealing with students, that really just adds more scrutiny to this. Also, and look, and I know what the other side of this that's going on is Florida. In fairness to them, Terry, they're looking at this as, man alive, if we've got students involved here, what in the world do we need to do to protect ourselves legally?
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got, and that's why this Title IX stuff comes up in this thing. And look, I hope and pray that this is not a predator situation that goes on here for Florida at this point. So now I heard a Florida beat writer say a few minutes ago that he had heard whispers of this like several months ago. But Terry, you and I know in this day and age, I don't like it. But when we put the stuff on social media, brother, it's there pretty well the rest of our life, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Tough situation. Real tough situation. Now, not that the basketball side matters in this. You hope nobody was assaulted or exploited and pressured and this and that. But looking at the Florida coaching staff, and I did that earlier today, Todd Golden's staff, he includes, everybody has a title, and your title represents your pecking order on the staff. Todd Golden on his coaching staff at Florida currently has two coaches that are titled associate head coach. Carlin Hartman, associate head coach, Corey McRae, associate, and they're the highest ranking assistants. I will say this, Brent, and I looked at all the bios, and I don't think I missed one. There does not appear to be any coach on the staff that has certainly Power 5 head coaching experience. I didn't see any head coaching experience.
Right.
I don't see a guy. It's going to be one of those two because obviously they're going to have to name an interim coach.
Yeah.
And, that's the least of this whole thing. And the other side of this is, and we don't know where this is going to go, but this is a really good Florida basketball team.
It is. It is.
I mean, they've got a chance to really make noise this season.
Well, and look, we're just talking about the basketball angle of it. We're not, Terry and I are not ignoring the other
not at all.
part of it. But for what we do and every day, the thing you've got to deal with here is who's going to run practice, who is going to, for lack of a better term, call plays during the game. And Terry, the other difficult thing about this is you've got Golden who obviously has a relationship with these players, and he motivates them. He knows what makes them tick, and he knows what works and doesn't work. I mean, you're taking away. I mean, you can compare this to any sport. You take your head coach away for any length of time, and that does difficult things for your program, no matter how good your assistants are.
Yeah, it's a real tough situation. Hopefully, nobody was exploited, like we said, or the big picture is the allegations are the big picture here.
Yes.
Right? But yeah, there are other tributaries. There are innocent people. The alleged victims could all be, if they're all true, victims here, obviously, and byproduct. I mean, what does this do to that team? What does this do to the Florida basketball?
Right.
They're collateral damage if this thing really gets messy. Last thing, and we'll move on, Brent. And I don't know if this is tying two opposite or two unrelated issues. Yesterday, Florida comes out with their release from Scott Strickland. We're keeping our football coach. We're standing behind our football coach. Is this related to, they knew this was coming out, and the last thing they want to do is have a head football coach search.
Yeah.
Same time, because this thing with Golden is probably going to go a long time.
Oh, yeah. And
related at all, or coincidence?
No, that's an astute point. I mean, obviously, did they know that? And then they say, let's go ahead and get the football situation out of the way so that when this comes out, we can deal with one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So timing is very important with that too. Yeah. I could easily see them coming up with some kind of a decision like that in order to because if you had this head coaching stuff going on in basketball situation going on, man, that'd be more than anybody want to handle right now.
You would think. You would definitely think. All right, Brent, let's talk some college football. Let's talk some SEC, really.
Yeah.
And then we can see some other games. But some really intriguing games. I mean, good games. Let's start first in Nashville, for God's sakes. November football. We're talking Vanderbilt, the great story. One of the great stories in college football. Vanderbilt is bowl eligible. They're going to a bowl. Vandy is trying to elevate the bowl that they go to. One more win, right? They elevate. Vanderbilt hosting South Carolina, one game from bowl eligibility. South Carolina, the road team, -4, so they're giving 4 points. How do you see that game? Should be a fun game.
It really ought to be, no doubt. I mean, look, the deal here for anybody who plays Vanderbilt, it's going to be Terry. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yes.
And the thing we mean by that is they will 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 7 yards.
Yeah.
4 yards, 3 yards. They will 4 and 3 yards you to death.
Yeah.
And that's what they did to Auburn. That's what they did to Alabama. And you've got to be very disciplined to handle that wishbone. Look, and the thing that really was impressive, Terry, they had, when the game was on the line, and Auburn's got a good defense, they had an 80-yard, 15-play, 9-minute drive in order to win that game. And look, if Vanderbilt can handle Norris Sellers, the South Carolina quarterback, I think very well that they could win this game. That will be quite a celebration for them, would it not?
My goodness!
And you're looking at a Vanderbilt team. Obviously they're bowl eligible now with 6 wins, but I mean they could beat South Carolina or LSU or even beat both of them and end up, my Lord, and end up with 7 wins. That you'd have to have a parade for that.
I'll tell you one thing too. This year's Vanderbilt team and Vanderbilt story, and they're going to a bowl for the first time in a long time, and this doesn't happen very often. There are a lot of bowls that would love Vanderbilt to come to their bowl. They're going to bring attention, and they're going to bring fans. Vanderbilt, it's going to be a party for those Vanderbilt fans.
Well, I tell you one thing, Terry. Even if they came to the Gator Bowl, that'd be a decent amount of people buy a ticket to see Diego.
Totally agree. Let's move on. Staying in the SEC, Alabama giving away 2.5 points on the road at LSU. Brian Kelly, boy, I don't know what to make of him. He flops in a lot of big games. He does have an Alabama win while at LSU. They're a maddening team. Where do you see this game going? And has Alabama stabilized? You know, there were a little vibration there with DeBoer and all. Have they stabilized?
Yeah, they were much better against Missouri, but yet Missouri didn't have Brady Cook, their quarterback, and they had to get Drew Pine. And look, I'm not being disparaging here, but you and I and Zach are better quarterback than Drew Pine.
Agreed.
Frankly, so I think the keys to this game. Number one is how will Jalen Milroe play? He was abysmal against Tennessee in front of a big crowd with a lot at stake. How will he do? Now, again, he ran for over 150 yards last year against LSU. Could he do that again? The other big battle here, the LSU front seven. The Alabama front seven and the LSU offensive line. The Dellinger kid is out. He will not play. He's one of their starting offensive linemen. So that's important too. Now, Garrett Nussmeier really struggled in the second half against A&M, but he's more of a statue than a Lenore Sellers would be, who's a dual threat guy. So, I'm curious if you're surprised about this. I'm surprised Bama's favored, to be honest with you. I thought at home that'd be -3 LSU. And look, I'm not saying the loser is out. Logic would tell you that. But again, until we know what the committee is going to be looking at and how strong that strength of schedule is, Terry, we really don't know that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting game. Then the other huge game in the SEC, Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss will host Georgia. Georgia, kind of like Alabama, on the road. Georgia giving 2.5 points as well. Before you jump in, I'm leaning Ole Miss. I think this might be Lane Kiffin's big game signature. He's won a lot of games at Ole Miss. He's missed the big game. I think I like Ole Miss winning it. I don't know if Georgia can score with Ole Miss.
Well, to your point, Georgia can't chase points, can they, Terry?
Oh, not in this game.
If they listen, as our show mascot makes an appearance. Terry, if they get behind 10-0 or 14-0, can Georgia keep that pace up?
I don't know if they can. I don't think they can.
I would agree with that. Now, will Georgia's defense play like they did against Texas? That's what I want to know. Jackson Dart's playing well. Ole Miss is not running the ball real well. Ulysses Bentley, man, I'm having to stub up and play. Henry Parrish, I believe, if you got more information on that, tell me. But I'm not sure Henry Parrish, their Ole Miss's running back, will play. Is the other thing with that.
I can't keep up with where Henry Parrish is at. He's at Ole Miss, good running back. Went to Miami, right?
Yeah.
Played for the Hurricanes. He's back at Ole Miss now.
Oh yeah. So, but here's the thing: Trey Harris, if he plays for Ole Miss, it's gonna be huge. He may be the best wide receiver in the league.
Really good. Really good.
So, but here's my caveat to all this. Is if it's a fourth quarter game, Terry, Ole Miss think they can win. Georgia know they can win.
They can win. Yeah. So Ole Miss better be up about 14 in that fourth quarter.
Yes.
And then just match scores with them and say, hey, we beat you. All right, Brent, let's zip through 3 local teams as we're ending up our college talk, and then Zach and I, last segment, we got some picks to make.
Yeah.
Miami, any trouble at all? Noon game, Georgia Tech. boy, Miami can put points on the board. They're deficient on defense, but any trouble at all, do you think, Miami at Georgia Tech at all?
If they're not focused after losing to Tech last year on that embarrassing play in the fourth quarter where they gave up the ball and Tech won, they would be in some real trouble. I don't know if Haynes King's going to play in this game for Georgia Tech, their quarterback. Terry, I can't see it. Can you?
No, I think Miami rolls. Miami rolls.
Yeah.
Notre Dame hosting Florida State. This, I think, has the potential to get really ugly. I think Florida State has really mailed it in. Notre Dame needs to keep winning. It doesn't hurt to win pretty. This could get real ugly in South Bend.
Before the season began, this was looked at a pretty good ball game.
Yeah.
It's not now. Now, look, I mean, it's the game's on the road, maybe cold up there, but this FSU team's a wreck. It's a mess. It's a shame. And look, Notre Dame needs to win this game big just for playoff situation.
Sure. Florida at Texas, high noon game as well. I can't see DJ Lagway playing in this game. As a matter of fact, I could see Florida playing 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this game. I could see Warner, I could see Millen, and I could see another player or two taking some shotgun, unconventional quarterback play, but I certainly don't see Lagway getting thrown out there. I don't know if could you do that to the kid? You got to give him 1 full week, don't you?
I think so. I think he'd be a lot better off having 2 home games with LSU and Ole Miss. I'm with you. Texas just has too many wide receivers, especially if Isaiah Bond comes back, the Alabama transfer. Quinn Ewers is doing fine. I mean, lately, though, he's got about 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. But I agree. I think it's too much Texas. But I do hope that Florida continues to be competitive.
Yeah.
And Lord Terry and Pat, you know good and well they've got to be, right? After Strickland comes down and says what he did yesterday.
Yeah, you would think. With that, Patrick Young's joining us. Pat, real quick, and Brent, we'll keep you on for a quick second. And Pat, we'll come back after the break and do our picks. Patrick, just a 90-second, 2-minute overview of the Todd Golden allegations that have made the news.
Yeah.
And had you probably had time to digest a little bit. What are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts?
Man, like he was messaging, apparently, it's alleged that he's messaging high-profile women as well. Like Alyssa Lang, her name is on that list.
I saw that.
And I don't think he didn't break the law, and I don't think, this is where we need a lawyer on our show, right? To my understanding, according to Florida's Title IX, if there is any type of coercion or effect that messes with your academic performance or your grades, your school stuff, then it doesn't fall into the realm of being sexual harassment.
Okay.
But the stalking, man, I mean, I just if there's nothing legal that even comes from this, it's just such a bad look, because I'm sure there's evidence.
Yeah.
There's evidence of this. And I hope that a Todd Golden naked picture doesn't pop out anywhere.
Yeah,
I just don't know how you come back as the coach after.
Exactly. And Brent, what Pat said there, and again, none of us are lawyers, but I mean, the stalking that could be proven, if it can be, and then the genitalia photos. Supposedly he was sending private part photos of himself. I mean, that's
him messaging with UF student athletes.
Yeah, and current at the time. And I think that really kicks it up, which is why I think he's got to obviously get suspended with pay. But if I'm UF, I got to say, you have to stay off the campus. You cannot come on the campus. I'm sorry, you can send somebody to clean your office out a little bit and get your personal stuff you need, but you can't let him back on the campus because of the alleged student issue involvement in this by him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank goodness we know if it was actual like assault or something like that. I mean, he'd be gone already.
Sure.
I think that there's two sides to a story.
I agree.
But just the fact that there's a connection of women that are very high profile, very well known, that have been, and this goes back to San Francisco as well, apparently. So I mean, I know Coach Golden. I was there when he got not inducted, but like presented as the new head coach, and it just sucks, man. To hear all this stuff, and I'm like, the first thing I was like, how does he have any time?
Really?
Really? How do you have any time to
yeah?
And then you can make the argument. My mom said this, like, this time that he's, stalking and going around or whatever, is this time that he could have been using to get better as a coach, as a team.
Man, it is tough. Brent, any final thoughts here as we go to break?
The thing that would really worry me if I'm Florida is particularly with some of these high profile folks. I mean, how many lawsuits are coming out of this? As they trying to circle the wagons, and that just complicates it even more. Yeah. But Pat, the thing Terry and I were trying to figure out is on the logical side of this. And again, we're not ignoring the rest of it, but I mean, who runs practice? Who is going to be making calls during the game and so forth? Those are things that can't be easy to decide either.
Yeah. I wonder, for the school, because I saw that this said that it got filed 6 weeks ago. So I'm things we don't know. Has Scott Strickland already known about this? Is this a surprise to him? I don't know. So here are the names. Some: Jenny Dell, Stevie Woodward, Kia Valavertra. She was a basketball player at USF at his job there. I can't say that name. Alyssa Lang and Hida Palma. I don't know who she is, but these are the names that have been listed so far.
Interesting. Wow. Really interesting. Brent, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for everything you do. Enjoy a good Saturday of college football. Really nice Saturday, and actually a good Sunday of NFL games. Brent, we're going to let you go, and we're going to keep it here, Zach, while we do our picks. Thank you so much, Brent Beaird.
Absolutely, guys. Take care.
Patrick, I hope you have your picks with you. It's picks time, man. Picks time. How you feeling?
I feel fine.
All right, Zach, I need you to pop up as well. Zach, you already have one of your picks, and you won. You're plus 15. You got Cincinnati over Baltimore. Pat, you got a game for us? Number one game?
No, because I'm going to stick to my strategy that worked of having one NCAA game and two NFL games. I just haven't.
Okay, well, you can.
I'll have that. It won't take me long, though. It won't take.
Yeah, you can get those to me later, but you can comment on these. Zach, go ahead with your second game.
So I'll start with the 5-point game. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals at home. They're getting 2 points against. God, I can't even remember who they're playing. I had it written down. My bad.
Arizona, though, we got
Cardinals
the Cardinals
plus 2. Yeah, they're at home. I remember it felt like the wrong team is favored.
Okay, and then you got your 10-point game will be.
That's going to be Ole Miss over the Georgia Bulldogs.
Ole Miss
plus 2.5.
Plus 2.5. UGA, that's your 5-point game. Pat,
the Jets is who the Cardinals play.
You got one, Pat?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Colorado and Texas Tech. I'm taking Colorado. That is giving 3 points on the road.
-3, Colorado. What is that? Your 5, 10, or 15-point game?
Let's make that a 10.
That's your 10er. All right, my first game, I'm gonna go a rebound. I think this team will rebound big, score a lot of points. You've got Virginia at Pittsburgh. The Panthers really got roughed up by SMU in that great offense. Pittsburgh, I'm going to take at home, giving a touchdown on a 7.5. I think the Panthers rebound in that one. So, Zach, I've got your 3, right? We've got all 3 of yours.
Yeah, because I already got the Thursday in the bag.
Okay, and I've got to put my point total. I'm going to put that one as my 15 and roll the dice. All right, Pat, you've got 1, so you can let me know about your other 2 before kickoff.
Oh, man, Vikings over Jags, 15 points.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Vikings, and they're giving up 7.5, right?
I got ESPN's got me at 5.
We're going to give you 7.5. How about that?
No,
That's what it was initially. Was 7.5. Yeah.
ESPN
Really? So it's
that
moved
I'm
to
looking
5.
at has it at -5. I want -5.
All right,
That's
you little baby.
interesting.
We'll give
Thank you.
you Jags.
I wonder what's causing it to move. That makes you
And
feel like Trevor. That makes you feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to play.
That's Is that what that means, Zach? You think?
I mean, that's what it may. Let me dive into this. This makes me feel like that, though.
All right, Pat. So that's your 15-point game. Vikings
Yep, that is 15. That's
over
gonna be
5.
15.
You know what? That 5 or 7 probably won't even matter, will it? If you know what I mean.
I don't think so.
It could.
And then I'll take the Bills. Bills over Colts.
I can't get that one.
Bills are giving 5.
So you're taking the Bills. They're -5, and that'll be your 5-point game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. All right, my second game of 3, I will take another rebound team. Iowa State had a tough loss. They might have thrown themselves out of contention unless they win their conference. Iowa State is on the road at Kansas. Iowa State -3. I'll take the Cyclones rebounding. And my final game, I'm going with Zach as well. I think Zach. Yeah, Zach. You and I both. I think Ole Miss wins. I think they beat Georgia, and I just don't see Georgia scoring with Ole Miss. And this is not one of the great Georgia defenses of the last half dozen years, guys. I'm pretty. I think Ole Miss gets in the 30s, and I don't know. I don't think Georgia can run with Ole Miss. I don't think they can, guys.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's quite literally how I feel about it. Yeah.
Okay, so and that's going to be my point game.
I did kind of look into it. Doug Peterson did say earlier today that it's trending towards Trevor Lawrence not playing Sunday, so the line is moving towards the Jaguars despite that.
And Pat, I don't know if that's kind of the things I've read and heard. I've kind of feel that he's not going to go, and Pat, you got to wonder if he has a procedure. Do you just shut him down the rest of the way? You know, at 2-7, 2-8, 2-9. You wonder.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, at least you don't want the guy out there playing in pain. And like if he's going to make it worse, it's not like, we're a game back from the wild card halfway through the season now. So
and
I mean, it's not a bad idea. He probably could use the mental reset too, but I don't know. He's got his money. He needs a lot of resets.
And they did release the injury report. He is questionable on it.
Is that
let Mac Jones eat, and then let him be a valuable trade piece.
Yeah, that's a decent point.
That's what Terry brought up a while in the preseason.
Yeah, when he threw a couple darts, and you're like, man, Mac Jones. Yeah, if he plays decent football, I mean, this will be a second life for him, right? Somebody's going to want him. Quarterback's fine in that league.
It feels like a team like Miami could have used him a couple weeks ago for sure.
Oh my gosh!
Too late now, right?
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah. For that, you two guys, let's stay. We talked Florida, Texas a lot. We touched on Notre Dame, FSU. Do you guys feel the same way? It's not one of our pick games. I think Notre Dame is going to absolutely destroy. I think Florida State has mailed it in, man.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Unless you're a guy that's entering the draft, I don't really see a lot of upside to this.
And Georgia Tech, I know it's a weird game. It's high noon. It's in a little stadium. Georgia Tech's, not a 90,000 seats and not a rabid fan base, but Miami just too much. Even if Miami has a hiccup day on offense, they're going to score 25, aren't they? On a hiccup day, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That is
crazy, man. And it doesn't even matter if they get down. They are a team that proves no matter what, we're gonna find a way to get points back on the board. Like no lead is safe against Miami.
No, not at all.
Unless Cam Ward is knocked out of the game, no lead is safe.
And Miami with Cam Ward, and I'm not comparing these teams or these two players necessarily, but I think you get the theory I'm going to throw out. I think those two players, Diego Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt, and Cam Ward, they infuse their team with confidence. Their team, those two players, I think, more than anybody I've seen in college football this year, the rest of their teammates think that those guys, because they're wearing our helmet, they're going to do something special. We just hang around, and they're going to – would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Those guys, man, just infuse their team.
I thought it was so interesting. I can't remember which game it was. It might have been, was it Louisville that Miami had like it was a huge shootout of a game 2 weeks ago or something. But anyways,
yeah.
Before that, Cam Ward talked. He's like, I'm driven by hatred. He's the first person I've heard say that. Like, I'm driven by anger and hatred because I feel as though I've always been good and I've been overlooked. And that is what is pushing me. And like, he has that, if you want to compare it, maybe that Joe Burrow level confidence.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Burrow led with hatred, but Joe just was so confident. No matter what was happening, he was going to find. And is he not, is that style of quarterback right now not the perfect kind of prototype for the NFL right now in terms of a guy that can pass it like he doesn't? And you saw Lamar with his 3 or 4 touchdown night, he threw the ball 20 times. Like, and the plays that he's extending, able to get away from defensive linemen, like, he's not just a run, Cam's not, Diego Pavia's not just, I'm just running as soon as I feel any pressure. That's the prototype I think the NFL is going to right now.
I agree. And I like it, by the way.
It's more exciting. It's definitely more exciting.
I like a little bit of a run option in there. For years, for decades, NFL was 6'4", 6'5", stand tall in the pocket, build me a protection, and just pitch it all over.
I know, right?
I like the athletic quarterback.
Peyton Manning had a great career doing that, but
yeah,
he got hit a lot.
Yeah, Dan Marino, guys like that were the typical, and that's how the game was played, and that's how the game was the rule book was structured that way. We got a long time between now and next football season, but staying with the Miami Hurricanes, one of the big stories in the offseason just kind of hit me. One of the big stories in the offseason is going to be Miami. Okay, Miami, you found a very special player at quarterback, Cam Ward. That you found him, you landed him, and he's a special player. If you can't replicate that every year, and he's a one and done guy, right? He'll be done. He's done at Miami. One of the big Miami stories is going to be, well, all right, big bad Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal. If you can't find that guy again, are you facing? And I don't think they're going to go 1-8, but are you going to step back like FSU when they lost Jordan Travis? Because Travis pulled FSU out of, even last year in their undefeated regular season, he individually pulled them out of at least 3 games. At least.
Oh, yeah, especially with his legs. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be a big
that's the idea, man. Like, go grab someone that, might look like they have a decent career and upside and great for your program, but you just don't know, man. You just don't know. That's why you have to have recruits. You got to bring in 5-star recruit quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That can maybe sit a year or two and they can be your guys you can instill, even though, of course you can go and grab a guy in the transfer portal, but wouldn't you rather have a guy that's been in your system for 2 years and you feel as though they're ready?
Yeah. Patrick, as we got about 3 minutes left, we'll get out of here on a Friday. I want to thank, of course, Jason Reynolds, who was on the show earlier, and his entire team here at BRIX Jax Beach. They take great care of us, and man, these steaks are flying out of the kitchen. This place is packed out on a Friday. Patrick, after this weekend, right now the SEC, they've got 5 SEC teams have 1 conference loss. No one's undefeated in the conference, and 3 teams have 2 losses. It'll start coming together a little more. You've got Alabama, LSU, obviously, Ole Miss, Georgia, and I think next week Tennessee's back in the mix. I think Tennessee and Georgia play next week, but the SEC is finally whittling itself down a little bit. But what a fun regular season so far with that 12-team playoff looming.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of fun.
I'm just curious. I think I just saw Indiana's favorites got 14 over Michigan. I got to see it, man. I got to see it to believe it.
You think Michigan?
Even though this isn't a Michigan team, that's obviously the team of last year. It's still Michigan. They still got great players there, and this is Indiana.
You think they got some form, do you?
Yeah.
And that'd be a nice feather in Michigan's cap. It hasn't been a great year. Obviously, they're coming off on that. If you ever have a down year, it's good to come off a national title to have your down year.
Right.
That's a That's pretty good. All right, Pat, we'll get out of here, man. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the football. And man, it's going to be tough as this Todd Golden stuff comes out, and this is going to be I think a long drawn out investigation as well, because there's Title IX implications as well.
Man. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, Texas A&M last year, Julius Marble, because it was Title IX, he did not play the entire season.
Yeah. So I expected that. And as we go, Pat, 1 minute left. I did some research, the Florida coaching staff, because I think obviously there's going to be a suspension with pay, an interim coach named at Florida to help the season. Of the coaching staff, nobody has head coaching experience. His two associate head coaches, one of the guys will get it. It'll either be Carlin Hartman or Corey McCray, but nobody has head coaching experience.
It won't be that guy Ferrari or whatever that is mentioned, that's for sure.
It definitely won't. All right, Pat, have a great, safe weekend. We'll get back together on Monday. I'm sure we'll talk and text over the weekend as we watch a lot of ball.
Yeah.
Be safe, my friend.
I will. I'll catch you later, buddy.
Appreciate it. That's Patrick.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX Jax Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports. is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.